Greetings and welcome to the Fan Perspective. I'm your host Nathan Nile, and this is WNBA Weekly, the show where on Mondays I talk about everything that's happened in the last 7 days and things I'm looking forward to in the next 7 days. So in the final games heading into the All-Star break, you have the Fever going 1-2, which is actually a better week than I predicted them having. Then again, if Brittany Griner had been healthy, it 100% would have been an 0-3 week for them. They've been struggling heavily, losing 6 of their last 7, including 2 games against the San Antonio Stars, who have been dead last in the league all year long. Speaking of the Stars, Kelsey Plum is looking better and better as the season goes on. You see her point totals and her assists going up. She's definitely feeling more and more comfortable. Speaking of feeling comfortable, the Sky have been tearing it up recently. They've won 5 of their last 6 games, including victories over the number 1 and number 2 seeds in the league, the Sparks and the Lynx. And Courtney Vandersloot seems to be the biggest reason for it, because she's been leading the league in assists for the past 2 weeks, and in her last 6 games, she's had 4 double-doubles. Suddenly, just like that, Chicago Sky are right back in the playoffs again. Speaking of the Chicago Sky, and the All-Star game was on Saturday, where Allie Quigley goes out at halftime, wins the three-point contest. Speaking of three-pointers, it was raining from deep on Saturday's game, because you had both of the teams combining for 35 three-pointers. You have Sue Bird tying Tamika Catching's record for her 10th All-Star appearance and setting a new record for 11 assists on the game. You got Leisha Clarendon having a double-double in the game, 14 points and 10 assists. You've got Jonquel Jones leading the East with 24 points, including a dunk at the end of the game. It was a high-scoring affair. They both got over 100. And then you have Maya Moore from the West scoring 23 points, winning her 2nd straight All-Star MVP. And after all that excitement, here are your current standings. And we're just going to jump right ahead to the games that are being played this week. I'm really excited to get back into action here, plus all the additional stuff I had to say. Basically, we covered it already in the mid-season power rankings if you go watch that video. So yeah, as always, I will tell you which games are being broadcast nationally. For the rest, check your local listings, or you can watch every single game on WNBA League Pass. Also, don't forget that every time I give you is Eastern Standard Time. Don't forget to adjust for your time zone. This is a very interesting week for the WNBA because every single team plays the exact same number of games, and they all play on the exact same days. On Tuesday, Friday, and Sunday, those are the only days where games are being played, and all 12 teams are in action. On Tuesday, you've got 5 of the 6 games being broadcast, starting with a 12:30 p.m. game between the Mystics and Stars on NBA TV, ending with a 10:30 game between the Storm and the Sparks, also on NBA TV. And then you've got 3 games, 1 at 7, 2 at 8, that are being broadcast on ESPN3 and ESPN2. One of those games is the Sun versus the Sky, and I'm very much looking forward to seeing how this turns out. They both had eerily similar seasons. They started off horribly, and then eventually things started clicking, and suddenly they're beating everybody, and they start rising up. Then on Friday, once again, all 12 teams are playing. There are no morning games. The earliest game is at 7 p.m. That's between the Mystics and the Sun. That one's going to be on NBA TV. And the other game that's going to be on NBA TV is at 10 p.m. That one between the Wings and the Storm. Then on Sunday, you've got, once again, all 6 games in action, most of them relatively early. You've got the Fever and the Sun at 3 p.m. That one's going to be on Twitter. You've got the Wings and Sparks at 5 p.m. on NBA TV. And then the last game of the week is going to be the Lynx versus the Storm. So yeah, that's it for this week. Tune in next Monday for another all-new edition of WNBA Weekly. And until then, this has been The Fan Perspective. I'm your host, Nathan Nile. I hope you have a great week. You know, if it wasn't for the fact that they have stuffed crust, I would never order a Pizza Hut. It took a guy 2 fucking hours to get here. First time in my life that I've had to reheat my pizza as soon as it came in the door. I mean, it's one thing if you put it in the fridge and then pull it out the next morning, but as soon as it got delivered, the first thing I had to do was put it in the oven and let it warm up a little bit. This is ridiculous.